Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday, December 2nd. Hey, yesterday was a great day when we looked at the markets. What will today hold? We'll have to wait and see. We've got some vaccines being issued overseas. We'll see how that affects things this morning here in the United States. Remember, hey, we've hit some all-time highs the last month. And so it's a great opportunity to start looking at how much risk you really have in your portfolio to determine what that risk number is. Hey, give me a call, 863-382-0037 for your financial x-ray. And we'll be talking to Dave in just a minute.
It's 8:30 now, 21 before 9. This time, let's find out where your money's going this morning. We set a couple of new records yesterday on the market. I think we might be able to do it 2 times in a row. I don't want to make it a spoiler, but it looks like the odds are against it. Let's go down to the offices of Statler Financial Services, where Phillip Statler is madly working to make sure that Shred Day is a monster success this week. Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Doing well this morning. A little chilly, though. I don't know about you, but I had to put a couple coats on this morning when I went outside.
Well, I'm back to wearing my turtlenecks from up north. They only get worn a couple of times a year, but I sure am glad I didn't throw them out, right?
That's right. That's right. They come in handy at least once a year.
Absolutely. Summarizing yesterday, up day, nice day, new closing record for the NASDAQ. We start today out at 12,355. New closing record for the S&P. The 500 index is at 3662. And the Dow was no slouch. It was up 185 points yesterday to 29,823, which means we get to the overnight hours, and it looks to be like, looking at the futures, we're seeing some more rebalancing and profit-taking going on. Is that your guess?
Well, I'm guessing there's profit-taking. I haven't seen anything in the news, really and truly, to give us any indication of anything different. A matter of fact, a lot of what I'm seeing would think that we would get some good news that things would be going up, but does not seem to be the case across the board.
That was kind of my reaction, too. I mean, the good news over in Great Britain, they are now free and clear to distribute the Pfizer vaccine over there. That's good news, and we'll be just a few days behind that. Yesterday's construction spending report was a pleasant surprise. My read had it as expecting 0.8 million, I guess that is. We ended up at 1.3, beat by like 50%, so that's all good news going into the day.
Yeah, that is, especially construction spending. We like to see that. That's a big deal because a lot of our economy float on construction spending, and it's an indication that people are buying property. And that another indication of that, Dave, is some of the mortgage numbers that came out, that they actually saw a 28% spike in mortgage demands.
Cool.
Yeah, and the average loan set a record high. So some good news there on the mortgage front as well.
Oh, it was all coming up roses. The only real blemish that we've got on the economic front is we did get the ADP report, the employment report in. It was a miss. They were expecting to have 410,000 private sector jobs added last month. ADP reports only 307, which kind of confirms softening of the new hires going up, or the new hires being offset by layoffs and whatnot. But that didn't look like it affected the futures all that much because they were kind of in a funk all night long. So I'm not even sure what caused that.
Yeah, me either. I mean, you're right. The ADP report did not really make any changes. I mean, the futures were already down, and it didn't deepen that decline any. So I'm not sure what's really putting pressure on the markets right now.
Yeah, we're in one of those time frames where, bigger heads than ours may know what's going on, but at the very least, our best bet is it looks like after 2 new records on 2 of the 3 indexes yesterday, whole lot of the big money guys are just taking money off the table, and it looks like it might be temporary because there's no indication of a flight to safety. The bond yields from the federal bonds are actually up markedly, indicating that nobody's buying bonds like chiclets planning on parking the money for any great length of time.
Well, that's true. And I was listening to 2 different folks this morning. Al Arian, who is one of the investment guys for Allianz, and Jeremy Siegel, who is one of the professors at the Wharton School of Business. They kind of had different opinions. Jeremy seems to think that the markets are going to continue to rise. He thinks 2021 is going to be a great year moving forward. He was all bull, bull, bull. Alarian on the other side gave some caution that if we don't get some stimulus back into our economy, that he really fears that we'll start to flip and go the other direction. That we really need some stimulus back in this marketplace to keep it up and going.
Yeah, I think probably, just my best guess, just taking it from a macro viewpoint, probably they're both right. We've got optimism in the marketplace auguring in, because with the Democratic activist administration coming in, we're going to have support basically top to bottom to some sort of stimulus starting on January 20th, maybe even before that, just on the grounds of pre-sale going on. But yeah, I mean, every time somebody offers a big sale in an on-site store, the place goes crazy these days. So there's pent-up demand floating out there, too, that as soon as folks feel comfortable going out and scrumming for a bargain, I think we've got the pent-up demand to the point where once we get past this and a virus is widely distributed, I suspect there's probably a lot of there's a lot of room to grow still in the economy once we get the worry out of our mind.
Well, and that's true. And I was listening this morning. I mean, they really, the realistic number in terms of getting the vaccine out there is we're really looking at 8 or 9 more months before you and I, the rank and file citizen, are going to have access to the vaccine.
Yep. I'm ahead of you in line because I'm an old guy. I get into the senior citizen at-risk crowd, but you young bucks, you got to wait. Around here, for that purpose, since 50% of the county is over 65, we'll probably be a little bit better distributed than many. But yeah, the point is the healthcare workers and the first responders, they're in line first. Then come the 65 plus and the nursing home folks. And it's going to be at least summer before we've got a full range distribution of vaccine. But just the fact that it's getting distributed and the fact that it's being placed gives us a sense of optimism down the line that if the government gives us some stimulus to get us over this next 6-9 month hump, there's room to grow still. And the marketplace seems to have a lot of pent up demand waiting to spend money as soon as it feels comfortable doing so.
Absolutely. And I think travel will benefit once we get to that point. But, hey, you were talking about the vaccine, and let's just mention it while we're doing that. Pfizer and BioNTech, they are the first two that are going to come to market. And like you said, the UK is going to be the first in the world in terms of the Pfizer vaccine, because I think China and Russia, they've been doing their own thing. But let's just say the free world, I think the UK is going to be the first spot that's going to have access to the vaccine, and that's going to start next week. And so that's really kind of benefiting Pfizer. They're up 3% this morning. And then the BioNTech company is up 4.3% this morning. So both those companies are getting a bounce because of the vaccine distribution coming up.
Yeah, I got to assume that's going to be good for all the companies with an investment on the vaccine. And Moderna will probably follow shortly because they're also applying for the emergency distribution authorization on our side of the pond. I won't say it's a good day to be alive because, well, we haven't gotten there yet, but at the very least at the moment, hopeful signs exist. Earnings season kind of winding down, but I know we've got a few reports floating around out there. How are the companies being traded doing this morning?
Yeah, we do have a few, and the problem is I don't have any detailed reports. I got some really, just some cursory information. And let's start with a couple of, and they're well-known names, but I think the whole vaccine thing is taking precedent over a lot of these different earnings, even though they're decent-sized companies. We have the likes of Box.com, which is, a company that really helps with computer. I lost my train of thought there, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like some of those other companies, cloud-based storage.
Okay, I wasn't stressing you, but I wasn't familiar with them, so I couldn't help.
So a lot of businesses use Box. I use Box in my business. They traded up they beat earnings by about 6 cents a share. Not sure about the revenue numbers, but they're getting beat up this morning. Down 7.25%. Not sure exactly. Maybe because people are going to start going back to work, it'll be used less. The other company that we had in there is, and we'll talk a little bit more about this one, is Salesforce and Slack Technology. Both of those reported after the market yesterday. Salesforce beat by $1 a share.
Really?
And yeah, and
They're at the top
Slack.
of my loser list this morning, so
I
I was
know.
curious.
We'll talk about that. I'll talk about that when I get this. So Slack Technology, they beat also by 6 cents a share. They were supposed to lose money. They actually made a penny. And so both those companies are getting beat up this morning. The question is why?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember. I think I talked about a little bit into last week, but Salesforce is buying Slack Technologies.
That's right.
And so, and they're paying $27 billion in cash and stock for this company. And so I'm thinking that the traders aren't liking that on either side of the coin, because we got Salesforce down right now 6.25%, and we got Slack down about 1%. So,
and given the private sector employment report we got this morning, that doesn't augur well for Salesforce's near-in future either.
Well, that's true, except for they are cloud-based. So that means that, you know, I could be at home working and use Salesforce as my CRM, my contact management software, and be able to access them wherever I am.
I suppose. Interesting. Yeah, obviously the investors are not impressed with that merger and acquisition.
No, at least it doesn't look like it right now. The last one I have for you is the Royal Bank of Canada, and they beat by about 18 cents a share, and they were my only, outside the pharmaceutical field, they're my only up stock today. They're up 0.75% this morning.
That's because Canadians are just instinctively cheerful people. Best I can do in terms of an explanation there. That's again Tuesday's closing on the market, all up and all looking bright. NASDAQ and S&P with new closing records. 45 minutes before we opened this morning, Phillip, it looks like a decided shade of pink at the very least on the indexes. How we do in 45 minutes early?
Yeah, we definitely have red within the stock indexes, though they have well, they got worse and now they're better a little bit. So we got the Dow down a little over 0.4%. We got the S&P 500 down 0.3. NASDAQ's down 0.4. So everything's in the red when it comes to the indexes on that side. And actually, Dave, everything's red today. Silver's down another 1.1%, and gold is down about 0.1%. And then crude oil is down 0.1% to 44.50 a barrel, which is better than what you and I saw yesterday morning.
I think it might be. So, yeah, they're staying in a trading range at a healthy dollar amount per barrel. That works. Mixed bag overseas. Asia was not particularly excited with our barn burner close yesterday. They were mixed one side or the other of the 0 point. It's interesting. The European markets are not having a party time over that Pfizer announcement over in Great Britain. The English markets are up by about 0.33%, nothing exciting. Germany's actually heading south halfway through their day. Phillip, we got big doings coming up this Friday, and of course, great information this weekend, too. Let's do Friday first, shall we?
Absolutely. So, hey, it's Shred Day at Statler Financial coming up this Friday from 10 to 2. You can bring your shredding by. Come in from Franklin Avenue back in the alley behind my office. We'll have the shred truck there. We are collecting food items, not clothes, just food items for the mission, and to help them out during this holiday season. A lot of folks in need with all the COVID stuff going on. So we're going to do a food drive for the mission. Bring by your food goods and bring your shredding by. Stay in your car. We'll have people there to get it out, take it to the shred truck for you, and hey, hopefully it works seamlessly. That's my goal.
It normally does. We'll be fine, and I'll be down there to help out 10 o'clock on Friday morning. And don't forget the Statler Financial radio program happens 3 times a weekend, 6 o'clock, and this week, 11:30 on Saturday morning, and then 10 o'clock on Sunday morning on I almost said Light FM, on News Talk 730 AM. We're back here on Light tomorrow morning. Fair enough?
Fair enough, buddy. You have a great day, and I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Phillip. Take care. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Phillip Statler. All it takes.
Again, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow, and come by Friday for Shred Day. Looking forward to seeing everybody there. Until tomorrow, have a great day.